Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Dr. Mondo. It's Tuesday night. It is time to rewrite your story. This is the broadcast where every Tuesday night we tune in and you guys get a chance to hear from someone about their amazing weight loss transformation. And as you know, this is not a show that's just about before and after photos. This is a show that is about the story behind the before and after photos. And tonight, I'll tell you, we have some before and after photos to show you. We always have some great ones. And I know that, that in part, you guys love to see these pictures. It inspires you to see the before and after transformations. On the other hand, you know my philosophy on them. There's so much more than your relationship to the scale and the before and after photos. There's a story to be told about folks, and often we don't get a chance to hear it. But you better believe that tonight, and every Tuesday night, you are going to hear the story behind the weight loss transformation. Boy, what a transformation we have tonight to talk about. I just hung up the phone with him on the pre-call. Amazing, amazing, amazing guy. Such a kind guy, such an enthusiastic guy that we'll be talking to tonight. His name is Justin Lacy. How many of you know Justin Lacy? I have a feeling that some of the people tuning in right now know Justin Lacy. If you know Justin, bang a like, bang a love. Show him some love before we get him on the screen. Make sure you share this broadcast as much as we possibly can. Share it with people that you know need it. And what do they need? They need encouragement. There we go. I'm seeing some hearts coming in. They need encouragement. You need encouragement. I need encouragement. They need perspective. They need to be inspired. They need to hear that you need to hear that you're in a hopeless place right now with your health or your mental health. And you need to be told that it doesn't matter what you're up against, that you can transform your story, that you can rewrite your story, you can renegotiate your relationship with food. And I could sit here all day long and tell you that I firmly believe it because I do. But often what I find is that social proof is what drives our ability to believe in change. Social proof is found in before and after photos. So I have a before and after photo that I'm going to show you here in a moment. That'll be some of your social proof. And the man that I talk to in a moment, you're going to need to see his before and after. Sometimes I wait to show the before and after when we have them on the screen. I'm not going to do that this time because you're going to see this man who's about to come on to the broadcast, Justin Lacy, and you're going to say to me, what can this guy do to relate to me? This guy he's a runner. This guy is in incredible shape. He's a good-looking guy. This guy has no ability to relate to my story. He doesn't know what it's like to be overweight. Yes, he does. He doesn't know what it's like to be hopeless. Just listen in. He doesn't know what it's like to believe that he has certain limitations, and he knows that there's no way he can possibly break those limitations. I'll tell you what, Justin Lacy knows what it's like. That is Justin Lacy. That is Justin Lacy's before and after photo. Tell me that is not incredible. And if you think that's incredible, if you look at this picture and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to know the story behind it. Don't worry, tonight we're going to get to it. But if you look at this photo and you go, that's amazing, you haven't heard the half of it. On the pre-call with Justin, I was able to hear more about his story and hear what this guy is up to. You weren't going to believe the things that he's up to right now. I mean, again, just look at this. Can you for a minute imagine what it must be like to be on this side of life? And to go from this side of life to that side of life. At my highest weight, I was about 315 pounds. I felt like that was so isolating and so scary and so overwhelming. Justin knows what it's like to be around 500 pounds. He knows what it's like to live in a weight-shaming society and to walk around feeling that all eyes are probably on him, whether they are or whether they aren't. But that self-consciousness, that feeling of being unsure of himself. I felt it at 300 plus pounds. I know he felt it at 500 plus pounds. But what fascinates me so much, and why we do this program, is because there's a story behind how this became that. And in many ways, I imagine we'll find out tonight that this man is still this man in many ways, but in other ways, he's not. He's transformed. He's someone else. There's certain things he's doing today that he never would have dreamed that he would have done before. That fascinates me. It fascinates me because I geek out on this stuff. It fascinates me because I love people, I love change. But you know why it also fascinates me? Because I feel like I need to do the best job possible at taking apart the onion, at pulling back the scaffolding. So some of you today who are coming here and saying, I can't run a half marathon, there's no way. I can't lose 20 pounds, there's no way. There's no way that I could take a 30-day plant-based challenge. There is no way. I want you to hear his change process and his story. Because if you're sitting here with your own version of there's no way, Justin's been in your shoes. In fact, he probably was even in a worse spot than maybe you're in today. And that's not to minimize your pain. It's not to tell you that your pain doesn't matter and that there's people out there that have it worse. It's just to tell you that if he could change and he could transform his life, then you can too. And I'll tell you what, I'm sitting here right now so fired up to talk to this guy. Let's just bring him on. We have less than an hour. We have a lot of folks tuning in. I'm hearing people, Jason Clark saying, Justin Lacy, way to rep, man. Dustin is saying, that's my boy. Ashley saying, I'm so excited to hear his story. What commitment. Hugs, everyone. You guys, honestly, this is so cool to just watch this community grow every single Tuesday night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, before we get going, make sure that you share this page as many places as possible. There is someone tonight, I just recently had someone tell me, I spent some time with some friends of mine, a couple that have been plant-based now for over 30 days. They look amazing, they feel amazing. And it was so incredible to me because they were sitting there and they were recounting different episodes from Anthony, from Tim, from Adam, from Chef AJ, from Nalita. They were recounting past episodes, and I didn't even name all of you guys, but all the past guests, all 13 of you, they were recounting your stories. They were recounting pivotal points where they said, wow, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget Spudman. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget that. Wow, I thought I was the only one. So again, it makes me so happy that we have a space where we can share these stories and have different conversations. You don't know tonight who needs to hear this. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you know. Share it. Let people know why they need to tune in. I'm going to get out of my own way because I could just talk myself into, I don't even know what. I'm going to bring Justin on. The sermon, but it does feel like I'm getting fired up to preach a sermon here as we're waiting to add Justin. Again, Justin Lacy. And Justin just moved. Not only did he just move, but on top of just moving, he went out tonight to go buy some headphones to make sure that the broadcast was happening the way that he wanted it to happen in terms of the quality of the audio and things like that. So we are waiting to add him. I'm trying one round of this. Sometimes technology can give us a bad time. Okay, one more time, Justin. I'm going to try it again. Here we go. Your request has been sent. Guys, do me a favor. If you have questions, let me know what questions you have that you want me to ask Justin Lacy about his transformation as we are getting him on the broadcast. So just another moment. I'm scrolling through some of his pictures. I bet there was a time where this man never thought that he would do this. He jumped out of a plane. Can you believe that? Jumped out of a plane. Unbelievable. Yeah, jumped out of a plane. I wonder if he ever thought that he would do that. Avid runner. Just simply incredible. Let me try it again, Justin. I think what the issue is that we have so many people who are tuning in. That's a good problem to have. I think maybe that's part of the issue of why we're having it just taking us a quick little second to get him on the screen here with me. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to grab Justin, we're going to give you a call. For some reason, we can't get you on camera. Don't worry, we'll have a workaround. I'm here with John Gomez tonight. John is behind the scenes making things happen. John, what are people saying? Does anyone have some questions before we get started and we get Justin over here on the broadcast?
I'm just seeing a lot of comments. That's my boy. I'm so excited to hear his story. No questions as of yet.
Okay.
Everybody just ready to hear it.
No questions. Everyone's ready to go. Yeah. I'm gonna get you in touch. Here we go. Here's Justin's number right here. If you want to give him a call, and we'll figure out what's going on with the broadcast. One of the things that I want to talk about as we wait for technology to get on our side is just the Missing Chins Running Club. How many people are a part of the Missing Chins Running Club? Anyone out there a part of the Missing Chins Running Club? Yeah, if you are, give us a wow. Maybe give us a wow emotion, and let us know if you're part of the Missing Chins Running Club. Joshua Turner says, ask him how much fun we had on Good Morning America. I need to talk to you, man. I know I need to talk to, I'm going to systematically work my way through each and every one of you until I get a chance to hear your guys' stories. There's so many people out there that I need a chance to talk to. Justin's saying, I can't make it go horizontal. Okay. You want to catch up with him?
Hey, what's going on, Justin?
So we are working on it right now. But again, if you're part of the Missing Chins Running Club, there we go. I see Todd's in it. Joshua's in it. Tell me just how incredible if some of you could share, your story of what that community has meant to you. If you could just share and type a little bit. And if you know Justin personally from that community, what is Justin? What has he meant to you in that community? I think it's so rare that we get a chance to hear the feedback of from people about what impact they have in our lives. And so tonight might be a good opportunity, as Justin's giving back to the community, to also let him know just what he's been to you guys. And so please, if you guys can, let us know. So we're going to try Justin again. I think. Okay. Let me find him. You guys share your stories as I do. Here we go. Even better. Tell them to log in and log off one more time.
Yeah, we can hear you. So try and log it in, or log it off and then log it in.
We are almost there. Okay, good, guys. I'm going to come over here. He has a great heart, and he inspires us more than he will ever know. That is awesome. That's from Joshua Turner. Shirley said, I followed Justin closely on his water fast. That's something that we are going to get into tonight. I know that he's super into to plant-based eating. He's super into also water fasting. And, it's just like when we had Spudman on Spudfit on that everyone goes, you get lost in the headline. There's so much more behind the stories about why he does water fasting. So I hope that we get a chance to talk with him about that. Okay. BJ, which, by the way, BJ, hold on. You are on my list, BJ. I need to read your comment. It just went through. BJ says, when you get through the Missing Chins, then you can interview the ladies if missing roles. Is that what the name of the group is? BJ, we need to connect. If Ashley, you're watching, reach out to BJ. BJ has been on my list since the beginning of this show starting back in January, and we just need to coordinate. And so if you're still interested, I would love to have you on to share. Yeah, I would love to just hear you share your story. So, okay. John's out in the hallway right now. He's taking care of all the technical stuff. I hear him making things happen. So don't. There we go, BJ. Awesome. Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Okay.
So what's going on tonight? How many of you, this is a curious question I have. How many of you are in the East Coast and how many of you are in the West Coast? Are you in the Central? And the way I want you to show that is, if you're on the East Coast, throw me a love, a little heart. If you're on the West Coast, throw me a wow. And if you're in the Central time zone, throw me a like, just so I know. Let me see if I can. And while you're doing that, and the reason I'm asking that is because we are continuing to play around with the times that we go live in this broadcast. Still can't see him on here yet. Maybe have him hang up and we'll try. You want to have him hang up with you?
Yeah, hang up with me and then try because it might be the phone call.
But we're trying to play around with our time. See, I think for the West Coast viewers, we need to probably consider going a little bit later. But I think for some of the East Coast folks, it would be too late. I'm bringing you guys into that stuff. Let's see. Can't bring Justin on camera. I'm not sure why. Make sure he's on the Facebook app. Justin, we're going to make this happen one way or another, man. Don't worry. We're going to make this happen. So we just got to figure out what's going on with his technology, but we will make sure that we get it going. Okay, I'm going to go back over here and hear some of this. So a lot of East Coast people, it looks like. Sacramento here. Oh, here we go. Dustin says, ran to the top of Mosquito Pass in Leadville, Colorado last year with this guy and had the privilege to spend hours talking about life and what it's like to lose so much weight with plants and running. Man, that is awesome. Yeah, Leadville. Aren't you guys getting ready to do Leadville again? I know Jason Cohen, another one of our past amazing guests that we had on the show. Of course, Jason is doing the Big Change film that'll be coming out later this year. He was telling me about Leadville, and I've been hearing so much about Leadville. And so are you guys getting ready to do that? Leadville is an amazing half marathon. If so, yeah, tell me more about that. So yeah, I'm hearing all types of East Coast people. And there's some Central in here too. I see some Central. Hello from Virginia. Yeah, a lot of East Coast people. So East Coast people, what are you guys up to at this hour? Just out of curiosity, like it's 6:20 out here, and we're usually at 6:20, like in some transition time, but around 9:20, are you guys watching from the comfort of your couch or your beds, or where are you guys watching from? I'm just really curious about that. Let's see, still can't see Justin. Okay, and he's back on, but can't bring Justin on camera. Tell you what, we might have to just get creative here, and I'm up to get creative if you guys are up to get creative. One of the creative things we could do, John, is we could, how much battery do you have on that phone? Okay. He doesn't have FaceTime. That's the only issue. Okay. Maybe we could get, or we could start a Facebook video call with him. Maybe that's what we can do. Okay. Don't go to bed just yet, VJ. This is I'm home getting ready for bed. And everyone's in bed. Okay. See, that's my theory is watching in bed. See, that's my theory with the West Coast is that we would get more West Coast people getting ready for bed and chilling, recliner in my library, bed. Yeah. See, that's my theory is that in order to capture more West Coast viewers, we would need to go on later. But right now, our bread and butter is the East Coast. So that's what we have to do. I'm actually going to be out on the East Coast. I'm just going to mention that too, in case any of you are in New Jersey or you're in the Maryland area. I am going to be out there on May 17th in New Jersey. I'll be at a gym out there doing an event where I'll be doing a talk and talking more about the psychology and the research behind drastic weight loss and the work that I'm doing. And then I will be, I believe it's on the 21st. That following Monday, I will be in Maryland, right outside of DC. And so anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to being out there. So if you guys are on the East Coast and you want to come out and meet me in person, I would absolutely love that. Would love to hear your story. And it's going to be, yeah, it's like basically a month from now, a little bit less, in fact, that I'll be out there. And so I'd love to get a chance to meet anyone. If anyone's in Atlanta, Georgia, I will be out there this weekend. And I think that's the extent of the traveling. Where I'm in Jersey? No way, BJ. I think Anthony is in Jersey too, come to think of it. Yeah, we need to set something up. Ashley, on that Friday, we have some time. Maybe we can set some time up to see BJ and Anthony, anyone else out there. I'm going to see my coach. Guys, this is really exciting. I went plant-based almost 8 months ago, and my coach, Sharon McRae, who has put me in touch with so many folks from around here. She actually lives out in that area, so I'm gonna get a chance to hang out and get a chance to finally meet her in person, which I'm just so excited about. So that's going to be happening too, here pretty soon. So yeah, it's really exciting. It's gonna be an exciting trip. And you know, in the meantime, we'll be doing these broadcasts. We have some more great guests coming up for you guys in the next couple weeks. And again, just the Justin update. It says that I can't bring him on camera. I'll tell you who I can bring on camera. I can bring on BJ. I can bring on Dustin. You know what? Let's get creative real quick. Dustin, would you be up for just helping me out? We're going to figure out what's going on with the technology. Dustin, Dustin and I have never talked. And he's going to be sitting at home in bed and he's going to be like, what the heck? I'm sending him a request right now to come on camera with me. And Dustin, the reason I'm sending you a request to come on camera with me, Justin's my guest tonight. No matter what happens, that's going to happen. But if you want to tell me a story, if someone on here wants to tell me a story about Justin and what he's meant to you in your journey, or what you've watched from afar from him, I would love to have someone do that. So I'm trying you right now. I just picked you, Dustin, because I know that you said something about him. Meanwhile, Justin's trying to make some things work over there. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Still can't. Okay. Why don't we you want to just call him and get started that way?
Yeah, I'm going to try to. Do you want to do Facebook call or regular call?
Can you do Facebook with video?
Yeah, I sent him a friend request. I think he just accepted it.
Okay.
And then we have to do it over Messenger, right?
Yes. Plant-based life forever. That's it. There's Tim, and look who just tuned in. Tim Kaufman. My boy Tim. Love Justin like a brother. Justin was just talking about how he said, I asked him about you, and he's like, as a matter of fact, just was texting with him earlier today. It's so cool, man. Like I could go off on a tangent about that, but it's just really so cool to me when you get to see the bond and the friendship that people have and they establish in communities like the one that you guys have with the Missing Chins Running Club. The stories that I continue to hear over and over again is just about how much that community makes a difference. And I'll tell you, it makes a difference in weight loss. We know that from the research. We know people who are successful long-term are in communities, they're in support systems that speak the language of weight loss. However, beyond that, there's also something to be said, just for the fact that all of us need to be in communities. So even if we're not struggling with our weight or our health, we need to be in communities where we speak the same language, where people get it, where people understand what we're going through. And, when we don't have that, here's what happens. We're in isolation. And one of the biggest addiction studies that came out a few years back actually said, the number one cause of addiction was isolation. Can you believe that? The number one cause of addiction is isolation. And as a therapist, that's really scary, because I can tell you how many times I get people in my office and they'll say to me, this is the only hour in an entire week where someone looks me in the eye. Or this is the only hour in an entire week where someone listens to my story. I mean, it breaks my heart. And part of my job is not just to be that for the 1 hour, but also to encourage people back into community. So again, when I hear about the community that you guys have made through the Missing Chins Running Club, when I hear about the community you guys are making around your weight loss journeys, it's bigger than weight loss. We need this. We are human creatures meant to be in relationship. We are not meant to be lone wolves. I don't care whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. Even introverts need time one-on-one. It's a big misconception. Introverts need time with people in community and relationships. We all have a basic human need to belong. We all have a basic human need to be loved, to be seen, to be heard. And we can only do that in community. So again, I find it so fascinating what you guys are up to. What's up, Joe? Talking about DC and talking about coming out there. Joe runs an amazing gym out there in DC. And Joe is the reason why I'm going to DC. So if you guys are out on the East Coast, Joe, if you could drop a link into your gym, I know Fitness Optimist just changed their name, and I think it's Cloud 10 now that is what you guys have rebranded as, which the logo I saw looks awesome. We're going to be doing an event with Joe pretty soon. But anyway, Joe, if you could drop in a link to so people can see your gym community, because we have people out in the area of Baltimore, Maryland. We have people out in the DC area that would love to get in touch probably with you and to know what you're up to and find some of this community that we're talking about. So yeah, here we go.
We got them a little bit. It's just fuzzy.
Fuzzy?
Yeah.
Hold on, I just want to show you that we at least have them.
Yeah.
I just want to see you. That's it. Here we are. Look. He really is. Oh, there he is. There we go, man. I don't know what's going on with technology tonight, but at least I could say I could see you. If the technology doesn't cooperate, we'll make this a phone call. I would hate to do that. I know you just moved, though, didn't you? You just moved recently?
Yeah, I just moved 1,000 miles to Texas, West Texas.
To West Texas. Tell you what, man, I'm gonna call you right back, and we're just gonna go ahead and do it without being able. I'm just gonna keep holding a picture up of you though, so people can remember what you look like. I hate to do that, but try hopping back on Facebook. Try hopping back on Facebook. It's probably the connection over there. If that doesn't work, then you know what we'll do. We'll just do it by phone. One way or another, we're gonna be talking to you tonight, though. I guarantee that.
Sounds good, man.
All right, cool. Cool. So I'm going to try one more time with Justin to get him on camera. Man, that would bum me out not to see him, but that would also give me just another reason to have to bring him back on the show. So if you can't see Justin tonight, don't worry. You won't be stuck with just me. I will make sure that John can take this iPad here, that this is a picture of my son. Anyway, if for some reason we have to go phone, and we'll go phone. And if we have to go phone, and I'll show you some beautiful pictures of Justin and what he's up to, then I'll show you his before and afters too. So. Okay. Gonna look one more time for him. Let's do phone. You wanna call him? All right, we're gonna fire him up on the phone. So again, guys, in case you are just tuning in, we are talking with a man who's had quite the transformation. You don't believe me? Just watch. As soon as my Wi-Fi cooperates, I'll show you this pictures of Justin Lacy. An incredible, incredible transformation. All right, here he is, and he's here on the phone now. Justin, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Facebook, can you hear Justin okay?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Testing on 1, 2, 3.
Testing.
Let us.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I think they can hear you. And I think we're good to go, man. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm so sorry for the technical issues. It sounds like I think part of the reason it's just something about the connection or whatever. But everyone can hear you. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. So let's just jump in. And what are you up to, man? You're out. You just moved to Texas. Is that right?
Yeah. Can you still hear me? I actually just took the headphones off. So is it still good to go?
You're good to go.
Awesome, man. I'm so sorry about all this, but
Justin.
I moved 1,000 miles away from southeast Missouri to West Texas.
And you told me that we could just talk for an hour about how crazy that move was. Give me the elevator pitch on why that was such a crazy move for you.
Okay. So it's that. Oh man, I don't even know how to begin that story, but so. What happened was I lost a bunch of weight, became a runner, and I made it to Good Morning America. And
unbelievable.
On Good Morning America, I was on with 5 other guys, part of the running club, Missing Chins, amazing people.
Who are those 5 other guys? Tim Kaufman's one of them.
Tim Kaufman, Josh LaJohnny, Marcus Cook, which is the one who hooked me up with he's an amazing guy. Jason Cohen, Joshua Turner.
A lot of those guys are on here tonight, and they're giving you all kinds of love, man. So I just wanted I wanted to connect all the folks. So you were on Good Morning America. You were out in New York. I bet that was unbelievable. So what happened when you were out there, though?
Okay, so I was in New York City. We were staying at the Times Square Hotel. It was all a whole amazing experience. But mainly, I was rooming with Marcus Cook, and I was telling him what made me lose the weight. And I told him that I wanted to start a family. I didn't want to be alone my whole life, and I wanted to build a house.
Wow.
For this family, and this was my why. Like this was everything.
Wow.
And I told him, I told him I wanted to start working on the pipeline down in Texas because I was a roofer at the time, and I was talking to a guy from Texas on my roofing crew about working on the pipeline, making really good money because you have to have good money to build a house. Mm-hmm. So he's like, "Do you even know what I do?" And I was like, "No, I have no idea." But he's actually with a huge pipeline supply company.
Wow.
So he hooked me up with a job out here, and that's a really long story made very, very short, and there's so many crazy chain of events that I could go into detail about, but that's mainly the gist of it is I got a job through a really, really great friend.
Well, I think that's a perfect segue, man, of just how amazing life has been for you and continues to be for you. It's a perfect segue into your story and where I want to start tonight's discussion, which is at square one. Again, I'm putting photos up of you so people can see, but if I would have told this guy right here, the guy that, as you said, was probably over 400, maybe 500 some odd pounds, if I were to tell him that you would be moving like you did across the country, that you would be getting ready to build that house, that you would not be just formulating that why, but you would be living into that why, what would this guy have said? What would he have said about that?
I don't know. I think I somewhat, that guy might have believed me, but probably would have been like, well, you're full of it. And and the way I told him how that happened, he probably would have laughed. But, I would have done everything in my power to convince him, years and years sooner, if possible. So
he would have been a hard time believing. I mean, I just imagine life is so nuts. 300 pounds lost, folks. You heard that again, right? 300 pounds lost in your transformation, and you look at where it all ended up and where you ended up in this journey, in this transformation. I'm showing people your picture here on the Facebook Live. Take me back. Like, what was life like the 2 months before you lost the weight? What was your life like? Were you pretty isolated, or did you have a pretty active social life? Had you tried to lose weight before? Just those are a bunch of questions to kind of get you started telling the story. Yeah.
No, I have exactly. I remember it well. So I was always a very social person. I was always playing music. Throwing parties. I threw a couple of big parties. I was a performer. I was pretty social, but I was always trying to lose weight. I was always the happy guy, the funny guy, but inside I'm a very, very depressed dude. And the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years before I lost the weight probably were the worst. And I don't really talk about those years much at all, but those are some dark times. Like, I started getting pain in my ankles and my feet, which prevented me from walking. Sometimes I'd be bedridden for probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time.
Wow.
So I couldn't walk. My left leg would swell up twice the size of my right leg with lymphedema, which doctors say is incurable. I was so isolated for a long time. I would just be like a hermit. I didn't want to see anybody because I, was so large. And I don't talk about this much at all, but it needs to be said. But I got really bad into some really bad drugs. And I was, isolated, and I would get very, very bad in that, and that just made it worse. And the eating was awful. So I was basically super isolated and depressed, and loneliness was a lifelong thing, and not walking, being lonely for a long time, and this just, why would, for me, the mentality behind it was, well, why would somebody want to be burdened with someone so sick and down and, as me or whatever? And it was a very low self-worth. So I didn't want to see anybody in my condition, especially when I couldn't even walk. So that point up to it was the reason I wanted to change. And it was pretty much my mom also. She had a stroke shortly before I began my journey. And in the hospital, whenever I was visiting her, I broke down because I was, scared of her situation. And I just, everything hit me all at once. Wanting a family, being lonely, not being able to walk. My mom has health issues, made me realize my health issues. And all of that just hit me like a truck, man. And I said, that's it. I am done. From this day until the day that I die, I'm going to be as healthy as I can be. And that was a sacred self-promise that will never be broke. And that's the key, man, is knowing that you have the power to make a decision to not kill yourself and not be depressed and not be isolated. All you have to do is change. So that's again, a very long story, short.
I'm getting chills hearing it, man. I'm kind of lost in a few different things that you said that I want to go back to, and I'm sure that people who are listening are too. To me, what's incredible is that any one of those things, I'm a pretty tough-minded person, but any one of those things would have been enough to frustrate or just deject the hell out of me, that you just named.
Yeah.
Whether it were drugs, which I've been there myself too, whether it was, the conditions that you were suffering with from your feet, whether it was the weight, whether it was the isolation, the depression, the list goes on. Like any one of those are knockout blows for so many people, and maybe they're a knockout blow for someone listening right now. How is it that you had like 8 of those things happening at once, including the stuff with your mom, including this realization that you weren't living out the life that you wanted to? How is it that like 8 or 9 of those hit you, and it didn't just become so overwhelming that you just curled up into the fetal position and just said, screw it, I give up? Like, that's what I'm shocked about. Like, how does it go from where you're at then to saying, no, I make a decision today, a sacred vow to change something for the rest of my life? Like how does that happen?
Well, I think it's a combination of my personality, I think, because I've been very into motivating things. I've always been losing weight. I mean, I've been on weight loss-ish, I've been losing weight since I was, 11, 12 years old. So I've always lost weight. I've been very good at it. I've lost 100 pounds probably 3 different times before I lost this 300. So I knew basically what I needed to do. I didn't even care how I was going to do it. I just knew it's like if something bad happens so many times, you just get fed up. And it's knowing that you can fix something. You need to be sure of yourself, and that's kind of what I was. I was kind of overly sure of myself even before I lost the weight. So if, your car breaks down, well, I would have the mentality of, I can Google how to fix my car. I can fix that without taking it to the whatever. So if I can do that, I can fix myself. Before I wanted to build a house, I wanted to have a hobby. I wanted to learn something like Chinese because I was always bedridden and sick. So I needed a hobby. I needed something to keep me busy. So my project was learning Chinese, but that swapped because I didn't have any use for Chinese at the time. So I was like, you know what? My project is going to be a house. So for a couple of months, I learned how to build a house. But that reality set in of me not being able to walk or be able to breathe half the time, then I couldn't really build a house. So that wasn't realistic. So my dreams were kind of shattered there. And then when I had that, epiphany at the hospital, the other thing I realized is I know what my new hobby is going to be. Me. I'm the new project. So if your new project is sewing or learning guitar or learning Spanish cash or whatever it may be, stop. Make the project you.
That is.
You can fix it. Like that was the whole thing for me, is like, I can fix this. And that's all it is. It's all it was, and it's what it continues to be.
So again, rewind again, everyone. Someone on here was saying that it starts with loving yourself first. And they were saying that as we were leading up to what you just said, which is the project is you. And that's so big.
Yeah.
How many projects do we take on because we have unrest? And some of these projects we take on believing that if we can just accomplish them, some of them are achievements, some of them are numbers and figures in the bank account, some of them are names and titles to our name. There are a number of likes on our Instagram or our Facebook or followers. At the end of the day, those projects, though, will never replace what you must do in terms of the work that you must do for yourself in rewriting your story and learning how to love yourself and making you the project. And here's what's crazy, because I'm listening to your story, Justin, and you were 500 pounds, but you were a 500-pound guy that, and I don't see this very often, that really believed that, yeah, you really believed that, yep, I can fix this. It sounds like that. Where did you get that belief system from? Was that from one of your parents? Where did you get this belief system that almost like, if I can just dissect this thing as a problem, I can find a solution?
I don't really know. I think it's a combination of just life events. And I think it was, me and my brother, we've always been the guy, like, we can Google anything. Like, if there's something that needs to be learned,
right, I
or
love
anything
that
needs to be fixed, you can do it. All you have to do is learn it. And for me, I have already been losing weight my whole life. I knew I could do it. And then I was always studying anatomy and physiology and medical stuff. I was a big nerd when it comes to nutrition and organs and cellular science, because for me, it was necessity. I've been trying to figure this weight loss thing out for 20 plus years, and I've learned a lot. So for me, I just knew. I knew that I could do it. I just had to figure it out more, maybe figure out the mentality or the willpower. But then, when I made that promise at the beginning of 2015, it wasn't even like the plant-based thing. I was going low carb for like a few months. And then I found a plant-based way of eating, and it changed everything. But my mentality before, Go ahead.
I was just going to say, no, keep going with your mentality. I wanted to ask you how you found plant-based, but yeah, keep going with what you were saying.
Yeah, but the mentality in the beginning, it was anchored in that promise, saying, I don't care what it takes. I don't care if it takes a year, 3 years, 5 years, 15, 20, 30, whatever it takes. I'm not going to stop trying to be as healthy as I can be. So I started off eating low carb, not necessarily super healthy or anything, just, veggies and chicken or whatever it was every time that I've lost 100 pounds before, because I knew I could do it.
Right.
And then literally 5 months, actually just a few months, I kind of switched to smoothies because I knew it was all over TV. Let's try to eat more nutrition. So only 5 months into this promise, I started adding myself to Facebook groups. And I added myself to a Facebook group called Earth Friendly Food Choices. And, man, I'm trying not to get emotional just now by thinking about this. But
go ahead and tell me about it, yeah.
No, this is the most amazing part. And I want to hug this woman so much. But the admin of the group, her name is Deborah. And, all right, she sent me a message, just a friendly message saying, hey, welcome to the group. What brought you to a plant-based way of eating? And I had no idea what she was talking about. And I told her, I was like, I don't know what a plant-based way of eating is, but I just wanted to learn more about health because I'm trying to lose weight. I have a disease in my leg. My mom had a stroke. So she sent me a video by Dr. John McDougall titled Starch Solution. It's an hour, 15-minute video of him at a veg source convention. I watched it and I laughed and I was like, well, this is ridiculous. You can't lose weight by eating potatoes and rice and fruit. This is stupid.
Yeah. Goes against everything we think and believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to prove this loser wrong, right? So
I see where you're going. Okay.
So I had to figure out the science behind how he was wrong. So for 3 years, I've been trying to prove this plant-based thing wrong, and I still can't do it. I still can't find anything better than it.
So let me get this straight. You've been 3 years ago, you make this sacred vow to change your life, and everything's going to change. You're 500 pounds. Most people, when they're 500 pounds, they're not thinking about, when they look, like they're 500 pounds, they're not thinking about changing their life. But you set out to change your life. You make a sacred vow, and you harness this competitive aspect of your personality, right? Like that says, I'm going to prove this guy wrong. So you set out to change your life, but you also set out to say, like, okay, if the proof's in the plant-based pudding, I'm going to find out pretty quick, I guess, huh?
Yeah, well, I watched Forks Over Knives. I started researching every doctor in that movie. Like, I'm talking hundreds of hours of researching each doctor, what they say, their convention speeches, their books, and it just made sense to me. It's like, well, this has to work because of the success stories. And, there's so much to go into, but then the community started. And once you start getting plugged into the other people who are plant-based, that changed a lot for me, too. I found these people, and it made me believe my story was possible even more. And then I got into running, and it just, the domino effect of everything created the overall results, I think.
How much weight did you get into, how much weight did you lose before you started running? I'm showing a picture of you running right now to the Facebook audience. So yeah, how much weight did you lose before you started running?
I don't really know. Here's another cool thing. I heard from many motivational speeches and people, just in general, because I was big into network marketing and went to a bunch of I went to a convention where it's a lot of motivational stuff. I watched a lot of motivational videos during that, marketing period of my life.
Love that. This is all good stuff, by the way. If you guys are listening to I'm sorry, but I have to just say, if you're listening at home, listen to this man's process and how he took this, listen to the approach he took about how he peeled back the science and how he educated himself and how he he made this change bigger than just weight loss. This wasn't about weight loss. This was about transforming his whole life. It was about his why. It was about listening to motivational things to transform his entire life. So you keep going. So you're listening to motivational stuff. You keep going.
Yeah. I was trying to remember the original question and what we were going.
I'm sorry, I got fired up, man. But the running, you were listening to motivational.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. So the reason, because I was very into these motivational things, all these people were saying the same things. Like, you need to do something different for a different reaction or a different outcome. If you keep doing the same thing, then it's never going to change. So I kept that very strong in my mind. And what I did was I didn't weigh myself. In the beginning, I weighed myself months prior because I started this weight loss competition with some friends and my brother. And I weighed myself at a clinic because I had to go to a special clinic to weigh myself because no one else could weigh me. And I was at 491 pounds. Well, I only did that weight loss thing for like a week, so I didn't really lose anything. But after that, I went off the deep end. Like, I was eating like 8 burgers from McDonald's, whole pizzas. I'm talking tens of thousands of calories. I mean, it was insane. Like, I would go to 3 fast food restaurants back to back to back for one meal. And
I believe it.
And yeah, so I didn't weigh myself, but I knew I was over 500 pounds. But when I made that promise and started going low carb and everything, I didn't weigh myself for 11 months. The very first time I weighed myself, I had to wake my brother up. And I was like, man, you have to step on the scale because it's broke or something. It doesn't make any sense. But it's just, it was at 365. If I was at 500, which I was over 5. I know for sure, 5'10", 5'20", I don't know.
Wow.
But if it was just 500, I've lost 135 pounds on my first weigh-in. So I knew the project was going good, you know. So
wow. Yeah, I mean, you must have been absolutely blown away. And are you, at that point, are you starting to hit this stride? You're already a guy that believes a lot in your self-agency to change. But at that point, you must have been thinking, wow, like, did the ideas start to come to your mind of like, there's a lot of stuff I could do that I never thought was possible?
yeah, well, at this point, it was just like before. It was just like losing the 100 pounds before. I was like, wow, you know, but I'm still fat. Like, you're 500 pounds. You could lose 150. You're still very overweight. For me, it wasn't a big change at all. I just knew that, okay, for me, I think I have found beauty in a million small steps versus one big step. You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
if you're trying to build if you want to get a house made of small pebbles, just one at a time is a more beautiful thing than just like going and buying a house. Like, I think that small steps, and I think for me the key in all of this, and I say it on my videos, I say it on my water fasting group, I say it on my Facebook page, but embrace the journey. You know,
That's it.
You don't have to worry about anything as long as you keep your why, keep your focus, keep your laser focus on what you want as far as being healthy or whatever, and don't stop. Even if it takes a million steps or a million whatever, you know, the 135 wasn't a big thing for me. It was just, okay, this is a whatever, you know, I'll keep on going. And for me, that 135 was just a confirmation that I was doing good. But I still had a long way to go. And I knew it was going to get harder. And it does. It progressively gets harder to lose weight.
But you were, I got to say that again. We're going to rewind again. We're going to do a lot of rewinding tonight with Justin. You need to embrace the journey. Yes, 100%. Justin, I'm just gonna validate that in the research that I've had a chance to do too, with former contestants, The Biggest Loser, all that stuff. Same thing. People that have journey mindsets end up being able to be successful long term because they're not seeing it as this dress size they need to fit into or this number on a scale they need to hit. They see this as a transformation to rewrite their story, to live out their why, to actually not just envision a life that they want for themselves, but to live it out. And I think you can only do that when you have a long-term journey perspective, and you must embrace the journey, as Justin is saying. I mean, this is just such good truth, folks. And the other thing too is I love if you can get in comfortable with that, and you really are focused on the why, your why, and the journey. Guess what? It might take 10, like he said, 10,000 or 10 million or however many steps. It doesn't matter, because you're going to enjoy each one of them. Where are you at today in your journey? And are you forcing the issue a little too much? Are you pushing yourselves a little bit too much? It's good to have goals, but are you pushing yourself a little bit too much to reach some number? Are you really embracing the journey? It happens to me all the time. That's why I'm going to take this away from him. I hope you guys do too. Wherever you're at today, even if you feel like you've been treading water a little bit in your fitness journey, your health journey, whatever journey it is in life, enjoy it. Soak it up. Enjoy the process. All right, Justin, keep going, man. So so here you are again. You had lost 135 pounds, and this was still before plant-based, right?
Well, at the beginning of 2015, it wasn't even like a New Year's thing. It was like the middle of January or something. Whenever I was like, okay, this is it. I'm starting now. So only 5 months of low-carbon smoothies back and forth until I went plant-based. I mean, on June 1st, 2015, I went, again, I could go into a whole talk about water fasting, but I used water fasting to reset my body, reset my taste buds, my digestive system, my mind, my stomach, everything. So I knew this, so I went on a 10-day water-only fast.
Now you'd been familiar with that for when did you first learn about water fasting? During that time, or you knew about it before that?
Right after college. I mean, it was close to 15 years ago. I've been into water fasting. I knew that for me at first it was like a weight loss thing. Okay, well, I was actually looking into like girls with anorexia. I was like, okay, maybe I can learn something from them, or maybe they can learn something from me.
There's that science mind coming out again. Yeah, I love it. Okay.
I'm a big nerd.
Nah, me too.
But no, I also was big into just like, how do people fast? You know, Jesus fasted for 40 days,
right.
and Gandhi, and all these people. You know, So for me, I fasted, you know, all the time. Like I've fasted dozens of times. I fasted for 10, 12, 14 days, numerous times throughout the past 15 years. But for me, I knew it was a way to reset. You know, before I was using it for weight loss, sort of. Also, I used it for mental challenging. So for me, maybe the fasting helped my mindset now. But anyway,
I would imagine.
I
would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, fasting is incredible. Like, that's why I am an admin for a water fasting group, which I highly recommend people look into it. But not for weight loss. I think lifestyle is the only way to go for that for so many reasons. I could go on a billion-hour talk about that.
I love that.
But yeah, June 1st, 2015, I knew I was going to go plant-based after a 10-day water fast. And I did, and I haven't gone back. And it helped me so much that, you know, it's like once you get the cravings and stuff out of your body, you know. Also, at the beginning of 2015, I gave up cigarettes, I gave up drinking, I gave up caffeine. So for me, it was like this list of things that I needed to cut out, and each one was a nemesis that I had to defeat. So I just like quit drinking, quit smoking, quit caffeine. Then I quit animal products. Then I quit oil. Then I quit most processed foods, which are a treat now. You know, they're not an everyday thing. And it was just, the drugs, you know, and that just every single thing prevented me from being as healthy as I could be. So if there was an obstruction in my way, a nemesis, whatever it may be, that's preventing me from going to where I need to go, I needed to go around that or defeat it or whatever. So yeah, 2015, June 10th, I guess, or June 11th or whatever it would be, I went plant-based. And then, you know, maybe 5 or 6 months later, I weighed myself for the first time. But I did no exercising during probably the first 150 pounds of my weight loss.
Wow. No exercise.
Yeah.
And you know, a recent research study just came out talking about that. I actually experienced that in my plant-based journey too. I worked out less during my plant-based, you know, I think first 6 months than I did probably in a long time. And the weight was just coming right off me. And the recent research that just came out was longitudinal research that says exercising is really important for your brain. It's really important for your cardiovascular health, all of that. But when it comes to weight loss, they actually found that actually exercise and weight loss are not correlated. It's actually correlated with weight maintenance. So yeah, you bring up a really good point. And I see people struggle with this sometimes, is that they don't do what you did. You really worked on the internal parts of your story, beating the nemesis, identifying the nemesis. And you also really worked on changing your relationship to food and your nutrition. And then once you had that in check, and that was enough to get you to lose weight. I want people to hear that, because a lot of people are tuning in for weight loss or wanting to get healthy. Like Justin's saying, make your project you, and make your project part of revamping yourself is revamping your relationship with food. And the exercise is something that you add on almost as an adjunct piece the further you get down the road. And so you didn't add in exercise until you were pretty far along into your journey.
Exactly. Yeah. Real quick, I'm going to go into the exercise, but I have to say something that's very relatable to everybody listening.
Yes.
But one thing that people might not understand or might not be able to grasp is that when it came to my weight loss, and this is still my go-to focus to the very beginning of my promise, I promise to be as healthy as I can be. So I never focused on weight. I never focused on numbers. I never focused on pant size. I never focused on anything. Only optimal health. That is the key, because the side effect, the outcome from optimal health is inevitable weight loss. That's huge. That's huge for people to grasp and understand that.
Can we?
So for fasting, people.
I was gonna say, sorry. Can we? I want to say, can we throw away the scales? Am I being too dramatic? Like, can people, like, is there any, can we just let the doctors have the scales and they use it for what they use it for? I mean, do we need scales? Because I worry often that we become scale obsessed. I know I do. I don't weigh myself either.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that, man. Optimal health is my goal. I'll know it if I'm optimal. I'll know it if I'm not. But I don't need a scale to tell me that. Do you think we should be throwing away our scales, or what do you think the scale should be used for?
Well, I haven't weighed myself in a long time. I just recently, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, but I went on a 33-day water-only fast.
I did not. 33-day water-only fast, and that's when I first got linked up with Justin on Facebook Live, or Facebook. So yeah unbelievable. 33 days.
That's a whole other crazy story. But I never weighed myself before, and I haven't weighed myself since, and I honestly don't care to, because I can look down and I know I have body fat. I know if my body feels lacking of energy or lacking of health. I don't need a number on a machine to tell me a weight.
Ooh, say that. Come on.
Nothing.
Weight means nothing. I'm going to scream. It means nothing. I'm with you. It does. Yes. Yeah. So you have found that
it is a number.
It's just a number, and you have found that your body, and how crazy. I mean, again, guys, don't forget. I'll show you pictures if you need evidence. This is a guy that at one point was not in tune with his body. Okay. So some of you are thinking, well, I can't be in tune with my body. I need a scale. This is a guy that got in tune with his body by putting his health first, and it happened as he trusted the process. It unfolded as he got to that point. But now the way that you gauge, it sounds like whether or not you're hitting the mark is based on how you're feeling. I'm gonna show a picture with you and your buddies on Good Morning America. There's the crew right there, the Missing Kids Running Club. So that is such a crucial. I know, like you said, before we talk about exercise, and I know with these guys, you like to run, and you guys don't like to just go out for a little jog. You guys put some mileage in, and what I love is you're a bunch of guys that put mileage in you probably never, if you, like when I was in high school, I played sports and I played offensive line and football. Did you play football or anything growing up, or?
No, I actually went to football practice 1 year in high school. There was 2-a-day practices, but I actually worked a job at like 14 or 15 years old. So I chose to work because I needed money at the time, because I've been like paying bills since I was like 15.
Oh man! Well, there's some of where your determination comes from. But so you didn't play sports growing up? Were you any sports much, or no? Like athletics was just something that wasn't on the table for you?
No, when I was younger, I played a little bit of soccer and a little bit of baseball, but that was it. I mean, it was very, very minimal sport because, man, I was out of shape. I was fat since I was, a toddler. So that was not in my spectrum of things. I never thought in a million years I would be an endurance runner.
An endurance runner. And so that's what we're going to jump to right now, is to talk about your running and talk about what a part of your life that it was for you in the midst of this transformation that you're taking us chronologically through. I'm showing a picture of you and your friend Josh Lajani and another one of your buddies from the Missing Chins Running Club on the set of Good Morning America. But, it's fascinating to me, because what I was starting to say is I played football in high school and I played offensive line. I damn near quit every sport at some point because I hated the running so much. And like, so for me, I was a guy like in the high 270 or like 270, or got up to 300 pounds at one point. But for me, like, I thought there's no way I could run. So when I started running, that was a really big deal. I just think it's so fascinating that for so long, and there's so many people out there right now that are saying, I can't run, but you ran, and you never grew up believing that you could run. You never grew up with that experience. So when you started running, if you could fast forward through that a little bit, you started to run. What experience, that must have blown your mind to actually get out there and be able to not have your feet hurt and to be able to put in a few miles. Like, yeah, just talk about that. How crazy was that?
Man, oh gosh, I wish we had hours. This was great. Okay, so I was into about, I don't know, shortly after the 135 pounds loss, I lost a few more pounds after that. And that's when I found the community. And then I found a guy, you should probably write this down. His name is Jared Monosmith.
Right. Okay. Jared, how do you spell his last name?
Monesmith.
Gotcha.
Jared Monosmith. He's on YouTube. He made a few videos about losing a bunch. I mean, he was at 460 and lost. Got down to like 170 after going plant-based and then mostly raw. But he was the very first person I found on the internet that lost a very large amount of weight next to what mine would need to be. So for me, he was the first person I found that made me realize this is possible. This is amazing. So I connected with him. But he was a bike rider. Wow. He rode his bike across a whole state, like Washington State or something like that, like thousands of like crazy stuff.
Wow.
So so at that moment, following him for a little bit and connecting with him, I made up my mind and said, I'm going to ride a bike. I'm going to be a bike rider like that, an endurance bike rider. I don't know how, I don't know why, but that's what I'm going to do because that's what worked for him. It can work for me. So my mom had an exercise bike, a really cheap old one, never got used. So I started doing that. Little by little, I was doing 5 miles, 10 miles, and 20 miles. I would watch concerts on YouTube and ride 20 miles. For 2 hours long of a bike ride, I would watch Aerosmith concerts, Led Zeppelin concerts, Beatles concerts. It was dancing to me. And the energy from the plant-based way of eating allowed me to do this in ways that I enjoyed it, actually. So at that moment, I was just doing that for a short period of riding a bike. Before that, I would actually do short walks with my friends through the woods because we were avid mushroom hunters. We would find wild mushrooms. And I'm still a very big mushroom nerd. I've had, probably 30 different kinds of wild edible, anyway. But that's another conversation. Yeah. So, I started off walking. Then I started doing hiking a little bit. Then I got into bike riding. But then, because I was so active and everything in the community and also my physical stuff a little bit, I found more people like Tim Kaufman and Josh LaJaunie. And when I found out that Josh LaJaunie made a huge transformation and started becoming an endurance runner, running marathons and ultra marathons, I didn't really understand what ultra marathons were.
How far are ultra marathons? How far are ultra marathons? How far do you go?
Anything further than a marathon, anything longer than a 26.2-mile run is an ultra marathon.
And by the way, real quick, I want to throw this in here because Josh has been active and he's been having some amazing comments. He says it's more about embracing bipedalism. Talk about researching.
Exactly.
Bipedalism. It's more about embracing bipedalism than running. We are bipeds. We should act like it and flex our vessels with that action, in my opinion. Man, that's some powerful stuff. Yeah. So I thought I'd add that to what you're saying. Back that up. Yep.
Watch, read the book called Born to Run. Josh LaJaunie turned me on to the book Born to Run.
Heard of that. Yeah.
And Scott Jurek, who's a plant-based endurance ultra marathoner, and I read his book Eat and Run. And I read these books because Josh LaJaunie did it. And for me, Josh LaJaunie was like this, celebrity. Tim Kaufman was like the celebrity. Jason Cohen of Big Change the Film ran Leadville with Josh LaJaunie. These guys were like, celebrities to me. Even Jared Monosmith on YouTube was like the celebrity,
Yeah.
So I connected with all these people, mainly because Tim Kaufman kind of suggested that I put my story out there, which I never wanted. I didn't want to be like, look at me, but he got me hooked up with Jason Cohen. But I swapped my bike riding mentality for a running mentality. I said, you know what? I kind of like the physique that running has given Josh LaJaunie. You know, just, I don't know what that, I mean, I could probably go along into detail and all that, but I swapped my mentality. So I was working at a radio station at the time, and I started walking from the back door to the front door, from the back door to the front door, you know, during my in between songs or whatever, you know. So I worked long weekends, and we would just play long shows on Sundays. So on Sundays, I would start running like a minute at a time. And then one time I timed myself for 5 minutes, and I ran for 5 minutes back and forth from the front door to the back door, and like that. So I was like, man, that's probably close to like a half mile. I've never ran that far before. And then I got a membership to a gym, and I started getting on a treadmill. And I just knew that I was going to do an ultra marathon. I don't know what in my right mind said that it was going to happen, but I just said, I am going to do it. The same way that said, I am going to be healthy. You know, it's just, I'm not going to stop until it happens.
Wow.
So I got a membership to a gym, and I ran my first mile without stopping. And it blew my mind, because this was like my arch nemesis in my entire high school career. You know, in high school, I was never able to run the mile.
Wow.
And that happened. I ran a mile without stopping. So I said, okay, step 1, done. Let's go for 2. So I kept working up to it. I hit 2 miles without stopping. Boom, celebration. And I was like, well, man, that's, you know, this is working, you know? Then I worked on my breathing. I worked on my form. I connected more with different people in the running community, Tim Kaufman, Josh LaJaunie, you know, other people who are runners now. And I started running a 5K without stopping, and I was at the gym. My mom was there. She watched me do it for the first time. It was the most incredible thing in my life at that time. And every mile marker, every mile was a celebration. But here's the really cool thing, and I'm kind of getting sidetracked. But when Tim Kaufman kind of suggested that I talk with Jason Cohen, which Jason Cohen is a huge, pivotal person in all of this, kind of connecting some of us through Big Change the Film, and that's on YouTube, a whole bunch of interviews of all of us weight loss people. And so Jason Cohen, at the end of my very first interview of this weight loss journey, because at that point I lost 200 pounds, ish. I'm not really sure what the weight loss was, but anyway, he asked me, and this was like not even whenever I ran my first mile yet. He asked me if I would run Leadville with them the following year, which was almost exactly a year away, and that was a 15.5-mile run up and down a mountain in Colorado. And without falter, without anything, I said absolutely.
Wow.
I agreed to it.
Another one of those things where you just knew, like, yep, I'm doing that.
Yeah, and that's the thing about me, is when I say I'm going to do something, I do not like to back down from it. Like, if I say that I'm going to be on time, I will be on time. Or, you know, if I'm going to fix a VCR, I'm going to fix this, whatever it takes, you know.
Do you know someone real quick, Justin, named Sonia Evans-Parr? You familiar with her?
That's my mother. That's my mom.
You want to know how in sync you and your mom are? Right as you started to say it, listen to what your mom's comment was right before you said what you just said. Being Justin's mom, I know that when he says he's going to do something, you can bet he's going to do it. Like, oh my God, that's crazy, man. See, again, we're talking, I don't know, you call that what you want to call it, man, but I say there's some really cool stuff happening with you right now, man. That is so cool. And Mom, Sonia, you must be so proud of your son. And I'll tell you, like,
that's cool my mama.
And that's something to be known for, man. To be a man of your word and to have integrity and to follow through and to be self-determined, that fires me up. So again, when Jason says come run Leadville, you just said, yep, I'm doing that.
Yep. Because I had the mentality I was going to be a bike rider before anyway. I was like, I'm going to, ride my bike across the whole state or something like that. But then I found running through Josh LaJaunie. Josh LaJaunie is the reason I am a runner.
And by the way,
bar none.
by the way, we lost Josh because he got jacked up. He said, "I'm so jacked up listening to this that he was lacing up his running shoes." And then I think we lost the viewer. He's out there running. I don't know if he's able to listen. Josh, are you able to listen while you're running? And I'm telling you guys, I want to start running too. But you guys, you guys got me jacked up too. But yeah, so Josh is the one that you were saying that got you just believing in that mindset. Jason was the one that invited you out to Leadville, and here you are with 100 pounds left to go, and you're like, man, I'm gonna go do this.
Yeah. So that laser focus of having a 15.5-mile run a year later just pumped me up every single mile marker, one step closer to 15.5. So I kept on progressing at this. I kept moving my miles further and further. And on weekends, I would hit the gravel roads. And it would be me and music, and I became addicted. I became so hooked on forward dancing. That's what I call it, man. It's just running is falling forward. You catch yourself with every step. You fall forward, and you can actually control your speed by falling more forward. You just catch yourself with every step. So for me, the music with that falling is dancing. So you get music in running with the high carbohydrate, clean cells, your energy conversion is insane. So your energy is high. You literally get cracked out on plant and running. I can not lie. Guys, you should try it. It's amazing. So anyway, I'm going out to these, gravel roads, and I'm going for a 5-mile run like every other day, like a warm-up. And then I try to go 6 miles, 7 miles, 8 miles. And every couple of weeks or every month or two, I'm getting to a different, personal record, a better distance PR. And then I would try to go faster. And I actually did a 5K and got 5th place overall. And that was like shortly into my running, whatever.
5th place over. So you were hitting speed too. Geez, you weren't just putting in the mileage, but you were also hitting. That's incredible.
Yeah, 28-minute, 5-second 5K, and almost threw up at the end because I was pushing myself so hard. But that alone was like super cool. But then I started focusing on distance versus speed because I had this thing I said I was going to do, and I didn't want to back down. So 8 weeks before Leadville, I was only at like 12 miles at my furthest distance, and I said, nope, this little mountain is not going to be hard for me. I'm going to run the 15 way before it happens because I wanted to be ready. I did not want to be showing up and be like, oh, gosh, this is going to be hard. No, I wanted to be, no, this is going to be nothing. So 8 weeks prior to Leadville, I ran a half marathon or more every single weekend up until Leadville. So,
oh my God! I mean, again, it's so remarkable when you put it in the perspective of your entire story, man. Like incredible. Every weekend you're running a half marathon, just to be ready. That's it. Just to be ready.
Yeah. Well, the first week it was a half marathon, but then I needed to PR, man. The next week I ran 14 miles, which is a mile further than a half marathon. The week after that, I told my little brother, to drop me off in a town 15 miles away and then go back home.
I'll see you back there.
I ran 15 miles without stopping or slowing down once back home. And that was my 15-mile PR, and that blew my mind. The next week, I ran 16 miles. The next week, I ran 17 miles. The very last weekend before Leadville, I ran 20 and a half miles. I knew for a fact I was absolutely ready for that 15 and a half mile run.
When you showed up to Leadville, I mean, just unbelievable. And I want to say something about running in general, because again, I don't know. I'm going to take whatever you and Jason asked me to run Leadville with him this year. We just had a baby. I promise you, if we didn't just have a baby, I would have been there doing it with you guys. So I don't know what's after Leadville, but you tell me what's after Leadville. what's going to happen this fall or something, like I'm going to join up with you guys. I ran half marathons. I'm back to getting into it. You guys got me so jacked up. You guys got me so fired up. But again, anyway, I'm going to make some sort of commitment to get back to running for you guys. But because I want to join you guys. But I want people to understand this, because it's really easy to sit here and listen to stories like Tim's and Justin's and Josh's and Jason's and go, yeah, these guys are just incredibly determined, which they are, people. But what I kind of think is, if I can relate to it and you can relate to it, and Josh, like at some point we all were that out of shape guy, and you guys have tons and tons and tons of these folks in your group. There is something just to be said for, if you're sitting out here right now thinking you can't do it, this process works. And I really want to just hinge on that. This process works. Eating this way, there's something about running. I was telling my colleague today about it, about how like the hardest 3 miles for me personally are the first 3 of any run that I do. My body's getting adjusted. After that, it starts to really get easy. That euphoria kicks in around mile 6, mile 7. And I've only made it to about 14 myself, so I don't know what it's like after that. But I just think that people need to know that you can also do what they are saying. I don't care what you tuned in believing about yourself. You can do this. I mean, am I right to catch that?
Yeah. Oh, well, here's a huge, man, I can't say it enough, misconception about losing weight and running and health. All right? It's not about willpower. It's not about looking up recipes. It's not about anything. It's about knowing that you are a machine. And if you learn how to breathe properly, how to put your stance in a centered way and have good form when you run, and then put in good fuel, you will be able to run. Your body will heal itself because you're not putting in junk. You lose weight because you're not putting in caloric-dense foods. You are a machine. If you treat yourself like a car, you can remodel a car. You can remodel your body. You can drive fast in a vehicle, or you can run fast with your legs. We are born to run. That's literally what that book tells us also, because our lungs are built for running. Our bones are built for running. Our bodies are meant to heal itself through fasting and eating plants and exercise. And it's so cool, because people do have the mentality of, oh, I could never run. I could never be a runner. Oh, I can never lose 300 pounds. No, you can. It's a fact. It is 100% fact. You just have to believe it and then put all these things into action. Eat plants and run. That's it. It's that simple. But you have to do it with purpose. You have to focus on, why do you want to be healthy? Well, you need to love yourself. I think that's key. I think loving yourself is enough reason enough to run or eat healthy. You need to treat yourself. And I always say car, because if you look at yourself like an old, beat-up Oldsmobile, you don't care if you crash into the wall. You don't care if it's dinged up. You don't care what kind of fuel you put in it, because you think you're an old, beat-up car. You need to think of yourself like a brand-new sports car or a classic sports car in perfect condition, or at least remodel it to be in perfect condition. And put good fuel in it and rebuild it. Rebuild all the parts, all the organs, in a metaphorical sense.
What kind of car are you, would you say, Justin? What kind of car are you?
Man, I'm a plant-based running car.
That's right, man. Yeah. You're getting subsidies from the government because you're so plant-based and green and eco-friendly.
No, man, if I were to own a sports car, I would like a 1969, 1970 Mustang or something like that. I like those. I like the 69 Mustangs. Those are pretty sweet.
My first car, and I'm not like the biggest car guy, but I'm a Mustang. Like, my first car was a 66 Mustang, and it was all beat up. And talk about restoring. I had to restore that. I'm with you on that. And I love that analogy of restoration. And again, like you said, that is so good. If we think that we're that beat up old Oldsmobile, then what's it matter if we get it down? What's it matter if we wreck it? But we start to, when we take pride in the vehicle that we are, then we want to all of a sudden restore it to what it deserves to be. Man, I know that our time, I could talk to you for another 2 hours, right?
Oh yeah, I could talk for 5, 10 hours.
Well, I know. I'm not joking. And seriously, and by the way, Josh says you're a Tesla. So he said that's what he thinks. That we are evolved to heal from the mechanical breakdown of physicality, not the perpetual injury of chronic disease. I need to get 5 minutes to just meditate and marinate on some of these statements that Josh throws out here. These are some powerful, powerful words, man. I'm serious. That is powerful. We're evolved to heal from the mechanical breakdown of physicality, not the perpetual injury of chronic disease. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, you guys are.
Josh was Johnny, man.
Yep, you guys are all so inspiring. I know. I got bath time with my kids at home. Otherwise, I keep going, man. We gotta probably wrap it. I'm gonna do what I already knew we were gonna do. Ashley, who is my right hand of this whole process, she's gonna reach out. And if we can we set up another time again to do this? Because I want to continue this.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to get everything set up to where I'll be on video this time. I promise you.
Hey, no, I'll see. But that's the power of your story and your enthusiasm and that broadcasting voice I told you that you got, and now it makes sense. Is that man, I'm holding up a speakerphone on a Facebook Live, and we've had a lot of people watching, right, John? Yeah, we've had a lot of people watching, a lot of people tuning in. You are so inspirational, man. I'm just telling you, I know we didn't even finish all of your story today, but I want to make sure if you could go on the Facebook page, give people an opportunity to see where they can follow you, where they can link to you. I just want to say this, is that as much as there was the guy that you told me to write down his name and mention, on YouTube, and Josh Lajani, you are that to someone too right now, man. I guarantee it. And people are sharing it right now. And I'll tell you what, man, people need to hear your story. I'm so glad that Tim Kaufman encouraged you to put your story out there. And you know what? Sometimes we think about, and we have to be careful. We could start really feeling ourselves too much when we put our story out there. I'm all about, being humble and understanding that. However, you also don't know the impact you have when you allow your light to shine that big. You have an amazing story. You have amazing enthusiasm. You have so many relatable aspects of where you've been. People who are hopeless need to hear more from you, man. So I hope that you do whatever it is that you think you want to do, because like your mom said, and like you already know, if you put your mind to it, it's happening. And again, that to me is so powerful. If you can't tell, my morning started at 6 a.m. out here. It's like 7:30. I might go run. I might run to wherever you're at, and I'll be there in a few days, man. But you got me fired up too. I'm fired up right now. It's so good to talk to you tonight, Justin.
Oh, you too, man. I got so much more I want to share. I was telling you before, I don't care if you blow my face or, black out my name. The story is only getting out there from me because I know that I've learned a lot that can help people. It can help somebody who's sick. It can help people who are overweight. I don't care about any recognition, And I was very, very hesitant to share my story until I learned that it could be helpful to people. And that's why I'm doing it. So if I can get it out there, that's all I want.
It is because people relate to story. That's why this broadcast is called Rewriting My Story. People relate to story. You could share research. I do all that stuff. You share research with them. You talk psychology. People want to hear, have you been in my shoes? Can you relate to what I've gone through? So, and that's why tonight, again, I applaud you for sharing that. We'll be in touch, man. And thank you so much. And please do me a favor. You, Josh, Jason, Tim, all you guys, let me know what you guys are running this fall. And I want to be out there, and I want to meet up with you guys, and I want to be able to run with you guys.
Absolutely, man. I hope to talk to you soon. I want to talk to you for another 20 hours.
No, we're setting up another one. Ashley, reach out. We're setting up another one. We'll just put it on the calendar, and we'll let all the viewers know, because they want to see your face too, man. And I've been showing them a slideshow on my iPad, but I want you to be able to be on the camera too. So we will do that very soon.
Good deal. Awesome.
Have a great night, man. I'll be in touch soon. Thank you so much. Was that not, my gosh, I mean, talk about just rolling with the punches tonight. Justin Lacy could have easily just said, you know what, now's not a good night. I can't be on camera. I'm going to get a little flustered. Here's a guy that didn't at one point didn't want to share his story, but instead, you know what he did? He rolled with it. And if that's not a theme for his story, I don't know what is. Here's a guy that at so many various points in his life could have easily thrown in the towel. Some of you are listening right now to this broadcast, and you started listening thinking that you had plenty of reasons to not go after whatever dreams it is that you have to go after. Some of them are health related. Some of them are just life related. There's some things that you have on your mind and your heart that you lost hope. You lost the desire to do. I hope tonight that Justin Lacy's story reminds you that you can rewrite your story no matter what you are up against. This man was up against 500 pounds on the scale. He was up against being immobilized. He couldn't even walk. He was up against psychological pain. He was up against addiction. He was up against seeing his mom. He was up against so much. And yet he said to himself, this is fixable, but it starts with me. And it's a thread that we see time and time again. When you make yourself a priority, it's not about losing weight. When you make your priority rewriting your story, when you make your priority becoming the version of yourself that you desire to be, everything falls into place. Listen to how the running and all of that stuff was simply a vehicle, a Tesla, a 69 Mustang that Justin needed to use to get him to live out his life. He right now is relocated his life to be doing what he envisioned, to be building a house, to have that family. I want you guys to hear that wherever you're at right now, you think your story's written, you couldn't be further from the truth. Justin proved that. I don't know what else to say. We're going to be back again next week. We're going to be offering more inspiration. Share this video, not for me, but for you and for whoever else needs to hear it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Dr. Mondo. I'll have office hours on Thursday. If you want to come back, ask your questions. I'll be out on the East Coast. I'll be out in Atlanta, Georgia this weekend. If anyone's out in Atlanta, let me know. I'll be out there. No business this time. I'm going out there for a wedding. I'm going to be, one of my best friends is getting married, so I'll be out there for that. I'm going to be out in the middle of May. I'll be in New Jersey. I know there's some people already I got to see out in New Jersey. I'm going to be in Boston. I'm going to be in DC. I will be doing speaking when I'm out there, and I can't wait to do that. And then we're setting up more tour. We're going to be in Chicago again. So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. And again, the gospel of sorts that we are preaching to people is that you can rewrite your story. The platform that we are created is a message of empowerment and encouragement. And it's telling you that, like Anthony Masello said, in I think episode 4, that I was on the sidelines. Well, guess what? This is a broadcast to take you off the sidelines. If you're in the sidelines of life, whether it's your health, whether it's your dreams, your goals, this is a broadcast to encourage you weekly that you can get off, because someone else has been on the sidelines and they got off the sidelines. They got back into the game. You can too. I'm going to go out and run. I don't even have shoes on right now. I might run home. You guys have a great night.